Welcome, travelers! Today we'll be taking a look at some of my old Minecraft worlds. They're all about 3 to 5 years old, and most of them I haven't joined ever since. So let's jump right into this journey through the past. In our first world, we got all these abandoned buildings just kind of lined up in a row. You can also see my rather miserable attempts at creating some interesting terrain with World Edit. When I flew to the edge of the map, the water abruptly changed into grass, also for some reason it was only 1 block in height. Not the most convincing ocean. And as you can see, I abandoned this map pretty early actually, which you're gonna hear me say a lot in this video. I do like some of the details I've added, but there are many things I change nowadays. When entering this world, I was immediately greeted with a bright red start button. Basically what I wanted to create here was an arena where you can fight progressively harder waves of enemies. I spawned in and oh my god, that's a lot of arrows. Also I'm levitating and there are the zombies. It was a bit overwhelming at first, but basically stepping on a pressure plate will give you, or the enemy, a random effect, which wasn't always positive. You could also get withered or poisoned and die from it. That's pretty balanced. This was at a time where I was pretty interested in command blocks, but after the first wave nothing else happened. Now before we get to the next map, I want to give a massive thank you to basehound22 for being my first ever Patreon subscriber. Thank you so much for your support. This world was one of my first attempts of building an actual good looking castle, but other than the shape there was just nothing there. Also I'm not sure if I actually thought those windows looked good, cause I wanna burn them to the ground. The location is nice though. Before opening this map I thought I'd find another completely empty world, but no, there were just 3 granite zeros. I have no idea what this means or why I even have this map, and at this point I thought this was probably the most unusual map I'd find, but oh boy, I was definitely wrong. This was the point in time where I really wanted to build some kind of adventure map, but I didn't have the necessary knowledge nor motivation to finish any of them. However, I do like the amount of detail I put into this area. Inside this house I even found a very basic lore book. This is probably where my obsession with scattering books in every map began. Even in my latest project I spent literal hours just writing lore and inventing characters whose books can be found on the island. After opening the don't open door, I found our first zombies walking around and some very basic items inside some chests. I remember installing a gun mod back in the days, so you could find weapons and ammunition around the city. Inside the mini market I found out I had redstone randomizers to add flickering lights in some of the buildings. Though like most of the builds, I didn't finish this one either, but let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me build an adventure map for you guys to play. I think it could be a fun little project. This map was supposed to be this intertwined city which would stack upon itself. I like the idea itself, but as you can see I didn't make it very far. The interesting part was walking through the structure. There were all these tiny stores crammed into a small space, and I remember spending a lot of time on them. Venturing further ahead, I came across someone's living quarters, but that's pretty much it with this world. Okay, this one really threw me off guard. I opened the world and there was nothing. Well, except for this single villager marinating inside a cauldron. No context, that's it. No idea what past me was smoking, but I want some of that. Liminal spaces were a thing I was always interested in, so I tried to recreate this eerie feeling in Minecraft. I had found this picture online and thought to myself, I wanna build this. The architecture doesn't make any sense. There aren't any doorways and the houses are way too slim. Basically what I did was just copy-pasting the same building in the snowy area to make it look like an endless row of houses with seemingly no purpose. All in all, I think it turned out pretty okay. Colbridge Keep is a little fort I built on top of a cliff. This was supposed to become a huge fantasy map, but I stopped working on it after I finished building the structure. Well, that's actually a bit of a lie, cause it doesn't even have an interior. What it did have was of course lore. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it was supposed to be one of the many properties of a corrupt warlord or something. What I had planned for this map was transforming the village nearby, adding a bridge on top of this river, and some sort of city off in the distance. For this map, we need to use a texture pack, which allows adding all these extremely cute details everywhere. They're basically just different renamed items inside item frames, which means it can get laggy pretty fast. For reasons unknown, some of the textures kept glitching out, but I'm still gonna show you around. I remember being quite passionate about this build, and I still like the design of this room in particular. We also got a small pond over here, and hell yeah, I found the party room. Got a little library as well, and of course a coffee shop. Because I'm addicted. Now, after looking at all those past builds, I think it's time to get a glimpse of the future. After sitting through this video, you deserve a little teaser for my ongoing project. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like and subscribe. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can check out my Patreon to download my maps. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in our next adventure. Also, I'm not sure if I actually This world was one of this... I give up.